show. Together we serve. Welcome to our show. Sit back and enjoy. We will talk with people about their stories. With our host Ramona, we're ready to start. Together we serve. Together we serve. Together we serve. Together we serve. Welcome to our show. Together we serve. Welcome to our show. Sit back and enjoy. Education, inspiration, motivation for business and life. With our host, Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Together We Serve TV show. We're on e360tv.com. Come check us out. But I'm excited that you're here because my guest works with a few million to $500 million companies. That's their revenue they do. And guess what he does? He teaches them how to serve their clients, their prospects, their competitors, their friends, just how to bring value to people. Now, if a $500 million company or a $200 million company can do this and grow and scale, well, if you're making $150,000, who says you can't do $200,000 this year? Whatever that scale looks like, this really works. And relationships, the most neglected and powerful lever in every business. This is the secret sauce we're going to talk about today. Let's bring our guest on. George, welcome to the show, my friend.
Brother, I am honored to be here and super excited to connect with you and share.
Title, powerful lever. Let's dive into that. What's that lever you're talking about?
Oh, I love this question. Relationships, right? At the end of the day, I'll make it really simple for everybody listening. Every decision a human being makes is an emotional-based decision. In order for somebody to make an emotional-based decision, they need to feel one thing, which is safe. The only way to feel safe is to be in a relationship. You think about it over and over and over again. We've gone into restaurants, so excited to eat there, had a bad experience with the hostess, bad experience with the waiter, and then we're like, you know what? I'm going to go eat somewhere else. We've gone to restaurants where we've had an incredible experience in subpar food, and we recommend all of our friends go there. We've gone to restaurants, had incredible meals with subpar service, and what's the first thing we say to our friend when they're like, should I go here? And we're like, no, the service was horrendous. Has nothing to do with the food. So in business, it has nothing to do with the product. It has nothing to do with the service. It has everything to do with the relationship with the people, both providing it and receiving it, and how we focus on that as the most important lever.
I love that. It just happened this morning. A very nice hotel here I rented, got for my cousins, paid for it, and they charged her card.
Yep.
You know, beautiful. They loved it. They service is great. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to talk. So I lived it today, and we all lived that. Well, let's talk about what you said about fear and what people are doing nowadays with business with fear.
Yeah. I'm going to actually tie these two together. So I think the second part that's really important for people to understand is relationships also are not just external to your company. It's not just your clients. The health of your home dictates the health of your bank account, because the relationships that you build with the people inside of your company, in my opinion and my experience in 20 years of doing this, are drastically more important than the ones you build with your customers. And I'm not saying they get a different amount of weight, but in an order of priority, your home has to be dialed before you give it to your neighbors, so that you and every member of your home is on the same page. And so right now, we're in 2026. Love it, right? My biggest thing is everyone's seeing it. We see people in fear. They're like, no one's buying. Buying cycles are getting longer. No one's going through my funnel. People are lurking. They're opening my emails, but not taking action. And I'm seeing it run rampant across the board. Ironically, there are plenty of things that are working and still people building businesses and scaling businesses, but it's requiring more from us. And the thing that it's actually requiring is relationships. It's requiring trust. I have clients left, right, and center, and they're like, oh, the webinar's not working anymore. They're not clicking on the follow-up email sequence, or they're not booking sales calls. And I was like, well, How about we just start connecting with them? How about we just book an audit and help them? How about we show them what it's like to work with us before they ever invest $1? How about we give them evidence so they can see what it feels like, they can know what it feels like, and they can see a taste of what we're getting? And then sure as crap, in a week, I'm like, hey, just closed a deal, just closed another client, just closed another client. And I was like, well, ask those clients why. And they're like, well, everybody promises me everything. And then I just feel like a number. Or I've bought so many programs and I never even opened them. Or this coach promised me the world, I paid money, and then I'm going to never talk to them again, right? Like if we were an Olympian, we would never hire a gold medal coach and then be happy that they never showed up to practice, that they never showed up to the game. The purpose of being in business is to serve the people who use our products, because your job does not end the moment somebody buys your product. That's when your job begins. Your job ends the moment they received the result. And if they're paying you, you have the responsibility to get them there. So let's say you put your kids in private school. You pay $1,500 a month for school. I do that, but I would never be okay if at the end of the school year, my son didn't get to go on to 4th grade. Whose responsibility is that? My 9-year-old? No, I'm paying somebody for a service that we mutually agreed upon, that if I invest this with you and you tell me what you need, you will raise my son, educate my son, and help him progress to the next grade. The same thing is true in business. And it's true with physical products, and it's sure as crap true with digital products, coaching, service-based consultants, right? We all complain about attorneys. Oh, the retainer's so big, they do nothing. We scream about it. We want the one that's going to be there on the field with us. We want the one that's going to fight on our behalf. You're not going to pay for a doctor to walk in and be like, didn't see the doctor, just saw a nurse practitioner. Yep, didn't even get to meet him. No, right? You pay for surgery. You want the clerk doing the surgery, or do you want the surgeon that you paid for? You would be unhappy if somebody else did the surgery, or you had the wrong foot amputated or the wrong leg operated on. So it's not like this is like an out of the box theory. What it really is the world is demanding we get back to what business was designed to be, which was to be of service. And if we go back, even when you and I grew up, right? You're a little bit older than me, but when we grew up, the only thing that you had before the internet was your reputation. Everything was reputation and results driven, right? They either had a good experience and people talked about it, they had results, so they told people about it. And if you didn't do those two things, you didn't exist in business. The internet made us lazy. We're like, oh, we can take advantage of people. We can take a shortcut. Well, here's the news for you. The old way never went away. People just got distracted because we still crave the same thing. So we have to focus on the things that matter and the things that work, which are the principles. Our job is to guide people. It's to get them a result. And it's to ensure that if somebody makes an investment, that we make that worth their investment or way beyond, because business should beget more business. And I ask clients this all the time. I ask them 1 or 2 questions. Number one is, I was like, how many of your current customers has come from a previous customer? That's where I start. That's where I start. And sometimes I hear none. Sometimes I hear a few. And I'm like, amazing. That's where we start. Because what that tells me is they've not had enough evidence in their life to be able to tell a friend about it. Right? Like, I love that my entire business is referral based. I have clients galore who feed me clients. They're like, nope, George coaches me. Don't take his time, but I'm going to add you to his roster. I'd rather us both be coached by him. That's question number 1. The next question, and this is where I really dig into relationships. How many of your staff members have brought somebody they love into your product, program, or service? That one,
great question,
very rarely gets a, oh yeah, I help trades businesses, I help attorneys, I help coaches. And I was like, that's telling you something. Because if the people that work for you aren't proud of what you do and aren't confident to give your mom to them, or their sister to them, or their friend to them, or aren't excited to promote what you're doing, there's a really, really big opportunity for you to examine what's missing. And before I worry about how do I get another customer, I'd be more worried about how do I get my team to believe in what we do so much that they'd be happy to be a customer.
Speed. You said something while you were at Golden Nuggets audience. Hope you wrote notes. My head's spinning right now. But you said within a week they got a client and they called you. In a week. This is not something that people tell me, or me tell you, George, I can't wait a year. I can't wait 6 months. Even if you have to, you should. But this can happen pretty rapidly, right?
100%. 100%. And I did a call this morning with like 15, 20 female entrepreneurs. And one of the things that I said is, as an entrepreneur, what I've found, and this is where we have to be really, really honest with ourselves, the longer and longer we're in it, the more bias that we build that it gets to be easy and it shows up without us. But if most of us go back to when we started, right? You and I started a podcast, right? Nobody listened to it because we recorded it and published it. And we didn't expect them to. So we're like, how do I get people to listen to it? Oh, I have to tell my friends. I need to invite people. I need to build connections. But then what happens is we get a little bit of momentum and we're like, oh, now it's just going to handle itself. No, it doesn't. We have to protect those levers at all costs. And I feel like we just forget. And when we forget, we end up in these traps. We over ruminate. We try to think about clarity. And I tell everybody, the results you're looking for, the clarity you're looking for are not sitting behind your keyboard. They're sitting on the field where your patients are, where your clients are, where those conversations are. Every time I've had to reinvent my business, and it's been probably 6 or 7. The moment I do, I'm like, great, I know nothing. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to 100 people and see if I can help them. Hey, how can I help you, Steve? What can I serve you with? Hey, I'm really good at this. Can I help you with this? And I look for patterns. And very quickly, I'm like, hey, would this help you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'll give you 2 hours of my time. What's it worth? And you're like, well, I can pay you $1,000 for it. I'm like, done. Now I have a price point. Now I'm going to go find 10 more of you. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm going to help you with this, this, this for 2 hours. You got $1,000? Totally. And then I earn the right to complicate it over and over and over again. But when it comes to business, it's all about relationships. And there is no area in our business where we get to stop. The only thing we get to do is replace. But if lead gen is a big area of your business and all you've done is build leads and relationships with people, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. You can't just take that off the table. You now have to put somebody else in that position in order to do that. It's like if your entire restaurant gets filled up every single week because of the magazine adverts that you run in a magazine, you can't stop running those ads and then be like, I wonder why no one's sitting at my table, right? So business really boils down to data. And when we think about business, business requires people. That means that we have to be in relationship with people. And what I've seen happen, especially during COVID, is people got so conditioned to be disconnected from people. Like we think it's an inconvenience if somebody calls us. We think it's an inconvenience if somebody texts us. And I'm like, but what if on the other end of that phone call, not even from a money standpoint, there was a $250 million deal. There was a $250,000 deal. Somebody was calling you for having you $2,500. And you're like, well, I don't know that. And I was like, well, of course you don't. But there's one way to guarantee you don't get it is you don't pick up the phone and build the relationship. Right? It's so ironic that the things that we crave and the things that we desire, we resist the behaviors that would actually allow them to come in. And so that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. The image of a lever that you use, and when you gave me the title for this beginning of the week, and audience, think about this. He's making it look simple. And it does work too, but literally pulling a lever, I think of a slot machine. Clink, and up pumps value. That's all you've got to do is pull that lever.
That's all you got to do. No matter which way
it's mindset, yes. Right? It's your head.
Yeah,
so before we forget, and serve right, because I think it's a skill on top of a mindset.
100%.
Mention in the green when you talk about the Marines, part of being thank you for your service. Talk about that quote because this is powerful.
Yeah, well, I love it. So I probably talk to minimum of 100 entrepreneurs a week because I make myself available, right? And there's one common thread that keeps coming up, and it's fear. I don't know what to do. I'm frozen. And here's the thing. Stagnation never creates a result, right? Like I used to be 270 pounds. I'm only 170 now, right? I lost 100 pounds. But ironically, when I was fat, me sitting there thinking about how I was fat and wondering what I was going to do to change it didn't actually change anything. It wasn't until I was like, what's one thing I can do differently? I'm like, you know what I can do? I can drink more water and go for a 10-minute walk. You know what I can do? I can have one healthier choice today, and it compounds. And in the Marine Corps, after 13 years, the one thing that they ingrained in my head and all of our heads more than anything is that when things get bad, when things get hard, your job is to shrink your world as small as possible to the things that you can control. Because what that does is it keeps us in motion. It keeps us in action, right? And so we might have had the best plan in the world to run a mission and run an op, and then a roadside bomb goes off or something doesn't go to plan. Well, we can't stop. But what we have to do is we have to assess really where we are. And they would literally teach us. They're like, hey, touch your chest, touch your gun, touch your rounds, check on your buddy, tag your battle buddy. And then it's like the more and more awareness you bring, the more present you become. And it's like, what's the next best action? What's the next best action? And you start to stack those actions. And so even for me, I've gone through many, many hard seasons in business, right? and it's like, oh my God, my clients left, or I lost the biggest contract in my life. I can sit there and think about it all day, but nothing is going to make a contract magically show up. So I'm like, okay, what do I leverage? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to text 5 of my friends and be like, hey, I'm in a tight spot. I'm really looking for anything. Do you know anybody? Then I'm going to call a couple of people. Then I'm going to make a piece of content. And I'm going to start planting the seeds that I have full control over, knowing that if I consistently do these behaviors, the only benefit is that the only positive, that something beneficial is going to come down that pipeline, right? And I've done this hundreds of times. Like, Steve, I need to come back on the show, right? Or, hey, do you have an event I can speak at? Or, hey, I'm going to reach out to previous clients and see if I can help them again. But it really boils down to, what are those actions that I can shrink down, that I can commit to taking to stay in momentum and to stay in motion, right? Because business is motion. That's all it is. Money is motion. Relationships are motion. It's like, you can spend 10 years building the best friendship in the world. Steve and I can be best friends. The moment I stop, that relationship starts to die. I stop texting, I stop calling, I stop emailing. It doesn't get better the more and more I ignore it. I have to water that thing every single day. And our businesses are no different. So when we hit resistance, when we hit fear, the only difference between our prison and our power is our perspective of the situation. That's the only difference, right? Because the situation itself is not changing. And so at the end of the day, it's like, what do I do? And it's like, okay, they said no, on to the next. What can I learn? They said no, on to the next. What can I learn? They said yes. What did I learn? What can I bring into the next one? And that's really what it boils down to, is that we stay in motion and we stay in pursuit of the things that are actually going to give us a result.
I'm not a big fan. Well, I love magic, but because it truly is, all this stuff is not hard to do. You don't need to learn to be a lawyer. You don't need to go to 10 years of school to be a doctor. It's something you just got to put in play. And what I love you say about momentum, forgot what you said. I call it momentum. Me and my business partner,
Yep.
What's our momentum today? We lost a $20 million deal last year.
Mm-hmm.
For 24 hours, I was human. I learned that from a guest. Be human for 24 hours.
100%.
The momentum stopped for it, and the next day he goes, okay, what are we going to do? Well, in this part, George, you're just nailing it. By the way, audience, his social media is down below. You can reach out, connect with them. And we got a few minutes, some time, but you said you work with 100 entrepreneurs this week.
Yeah. I've had 100 conversations this week.
How many paid you?
Huh? One.
Okay, stop, audience. He talked to 100 people. Let's use a half hour, 50 hours this week. So use that number. One of them paid, and he's smiling.
Yep.
He's given his stuff for free away.
Yep.
Because it will lead to what, George?
Well, for me, it leads to relationships. And I'll actually just be really, really honest about it. Come Monday, I did a group call for somebody I never met. There were like 25 people. I answered questions, gave out my personal email. And I was like, if you need anything, just shoot me an email. I responded to like 9 personal emails. Come Tuesday, I had a friend who's like, hey, I have some business partners in town. They really need this customer journey thing you teach. Can you come meet with them? And I was like, yep, all the way up to Thursday. So I was like calls, connections, 15-minute coffee chats. Come Thursday, he's like, hey, I got 2 more people that are coming over the house. They got to meet with you. It was supposed to be an hour. Ended up being there for 3 hours. And they're like, dude, we would love to work with you. Like, what does it look like? I told them what it looked like. And they're like, when can we start? I'm like, you know what? We can get something on the books next week. I can probably do something Monday, Tuesday, because they're local. This was it was Wednesday night. Wednesday night texts me at 9:30 p.m. And he's like, dude, I totally want to do this, but like, I really need to talk to you. So I text him the next morning. It's 6:30 in the morning. And I was like, hey, brother, just like checking in. What's up? And he is like, dude, I'm really struggling to process this stuff. I'm at the office. Do you happen to be free right now? I was like, how long are you at the office? He's like, I'll be here all day. I got in my car at 6:45. I drove 14 minutes to the office, and I was like, oh, I'm going to give him an hour. That hour turned into 13 hours yesterday. I cleared my calendar, rescheduled calls because my heart was like, I can't leave this man in this situation. I need to help him in this business. He's like, I have a staff meeting Friday morning at 7 a.m. I was like, I can't make it. I got calls. I woke up this morning at 6. One of my calls rescheduled. I got in my car. I drove to his office. I was like, let's fix this right now. We got a couple things open. I was there until this call today. What they agreed to pay me doubled before they ever paid me because of how I showed up in the last 2 days. I don't care. I haven't been paid. They haven't sent my invoice yet. They haven't paid it yet. I don't care. I operate on the trust and value system. And even if I poured into them for 2 days and nothing came out of it, I sleep like a baby and I did the Lord's work because I made a difference and it felt right in my heart. And so that's how I approach business. If I have the energy and I have the capacity and you show up on my radar, I genuinely believe that God put you there to either be a blessing for me or for me to be a blessing for you. And he's going to handle the rest. Some of those meetings are like, dude, that's all I needed. This is it. I'm going to go. And some of those people I don't talk to for 6 months, Steve. And then I'll be sitting here praying and I'm like, man, I get space in my calendar. I could really use a client. I'll get a cold email. Bro, do you remember when we spoke 6 months ago? I did this, this, and this. Like, I would love to start coaching with you. It happens every single time. And the longest one was 18 months. I met a guy at a conference. I gave a keynote and I was like, when I'm done on this keynote, if I can answer any of your questions, let me know. He's like, George, we did 20 million last year, but 90% of our business was in Home Depot. They pulled our product. We are down to 600 grand and I have like 30 employees and like 90 days to make it. I'm like, brother, I can't fix this, but if you give me an hour, I can tell you exactly what I would do on Amazon, online. We sat down for an hour and a half in a coffee shop. I was mapping it out. I was doing strategy. And I was like, here's my email. Keep me updated. Steve, I crap you not. I did not hear from this man for 11 months. One day I opened my inbox and it's like, I owe you money. And I was like, what is this? I'm like, Nigerian print scam? No idea. Open the email and I was like, Ken. I remember Ken. And he's like, I just needed to give you the biggest thank you ever. We did everything that you said and we've been working for 9 months. We're not back to 16 million that we lost, but we're back up into the 8 figures. And we just want to say thank you. What is your daily rate to come do an intensive? We're going to pay you and fly you to Indiana. I crap you not. They wired me 6 figures. I was there for 3 days. I did 1 hour of work. They took me to dinner. They took me out on a boat. We met their family. And then I was like, guys, can we do some work? Like, it would feel way better for me. And they become one of my closest friends. And so for me, business is the long game. And our job is to improve upon the silence. At the end of the day, when God says he is done with me, my bank account balance is not going to be on my headstone. And I'm not interested. But what I am interested in is when my son or my daughter or my family needs anything, that there are thousands and thousands of people who will give them whatever they need when I'm not here because of how I showed up. Because people do not remember the money, but they remember how you made them feel and what a difference you made in their life. And in my opinion, that's the only way to do business.
Absolutely priceless what you just said. Because you're right. They don't put $10 million on your headstone. You know, Elon Musk is not going to say 850 billion. There's nothing about Elon either way. I don't care if you like him or don't like him. It's just not going there. And he knows that. Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows.
It's just such as audience. If you're not getting fired up, I'm fired up. You can tell by my voice. I'm pretty energetic, but I'm pretty fired up because abundance leads to helping others. And that's what you're doing. And financially, they send you out of Indiana. Well, guess what? That whatever money, now you can meet with another 100 entrepreneurs for free, spend 2 hours with them, and your family's taken care of. This is, I'm 64. You're much younger. And I don't have to ask your age, but no.
I'm 42. I'm 42.
Okay. So he's 22 years younger than me. I'm learning every time I meet with him. And I'm willing to learn. Age is just a number. Learn, grow, whatever. I've had 22-year-olds teach me stuff, help me with stuff. So be open to learning. We're coming to the end here. We've got 1 minute left.
Yep.
What's a piece of advice you want to leave people to get started?
Oh, I love this question. Tomorrow is not promised. And so the question is right now. And it's not about how perfect or how much or how hard. It's just about what's the next thing that's in alignment that's going to use my gifts. And I think God made every single one of us a unique gift, but it doesn't do any good if it stays locked behind a door and locked behind a wall. Gifts can only be utilized when they're opened, which means you have to put yourself in relationship with people so that they can use your gift. And so many of the things that we face, so many of the things that we fear are on the other side of allowing people to see our gift and using our gift in service. And it is a muscle. It's one to practice, and it's one that we should all practice. So pick one thing today and go use that gift. Help one person, have one conversation, just give something where your right hand doesn't talk to your left hand, as my Bible tells me, just to be of service. And I promise you the only thing is upside in your entire life and business.
George, thank you. That is the incredible way to end this show. Audience, every Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. He doesn't know it. Now he does. We're going to bring him back for part 2. We can dive more into this because this energy is off the charts, and we'll get him set up to do that. And we'll see you all next week. Enjoy your week. Go out and serve.